Hello, I'm live, it says. Still trying to figure out what my screen has on it. Not sure what you guys are seeing. Of course, sorry about the wait there. Of course, right before it was like 9:46 actually, and my program that I'm using decided that it wanted to restart. So that's why we're looking at, I guess, the sun and my channel, YouTube, Effed Up World. If you're not subscribed, maybe you should. So there's a question that never gets answered by anyone. And I talked to a lot of people about this. Let's see if I can find an image. Maybe this is right, maybe not. We'll see here. See that on your screen? That's a time-lapse photo, or whatever you want to call it, video. Let me find some more. I know I have. See, everything I had set up is gone, so I have to try to re-grab everything that I was gonna grab. But anyway, this question that I have: why do you think that the Earth is rotating? There's a lot of people that continuously tell me that looking at what's on your screen right now is evidence that the ground is rotating. So when I ask this question to people, they cannot answer. I have yet to get an answer, okay? If I say, why do you think that the ground beneath your feet that you're standing on, why do you think that is rotating? Because we have evidence that it's not rotating. And people say, well, give me a measurement for it being stationary. You're getting confused. Seriously. You're getting confused. If you think that there should be a measurement for something that's not in motion, this is not logical thinking. When something's in motion, that means it's moving. It's moving. So the ground part, the part, if we point down, the earth part, is definitely not moving. Look at your surroundings. It's not moving. This is why this question isn't answered. The best answer, the most common answer that people give me is they talk about the sun and the moon and the stars rotating in the sky. That's how I know that the earth is rotating. This is brainwashing, people. Come out of it. Get your thinking out of that category. That's not right. Wait, Thomas Morgan says, is that a good thing? Is he saying that? Vincent Rhodes live trying to show them Sheol is above. Oh, you're trying to show them. Yeah. You know what? It's a crazy thing. People walk right into that without, you know why it is, Thomas? And I know I'm going kind of off topic here. Let's put this up on the screen. Let me show you something. Whoops. Oh, wait. Okay, there we go. Do you guys remember this? I'm just skipping around in this 4-hour video. I thought that people were interested in biblical cosmology. Like the flat earth thing. I thought people would say, I want to know the truth. But they don't. They say that, but they don't actually seek out the truth. Sometimes. See this part on your screen? Let me zoom into this part that I'm talking about. Whoops, let me move that. Yeah, this part right here. See it? It's called darkness. And this is not a hard thing to understand, okay? This part right there. See this part? That part right there. That's darkness. Darkness. Okay? That's in biblical cosmology. It's not fake. It's not being faked. It's a place. Oh, good, James Hawk. That's awesome. A lot of people... See, I don't understand why people think that the stars rotating have anything to do... I don't understand. Why would that have anything to do with the ground? Makes no sense. See, like, if you look at these images, the place that... Let me pause it, okay? Who cares about the guy or the dummy? Who cares about the car? Who cares about the globe? I'm talking about this part. This part. It's in the second verse in your Bible. Yet people tell me that it's fake. They tell me that it's not what NASA says because NASA's lying about it. NASA knows what it is, but they're telling a lie about it. They know it's the firmament, and you can't get through the firmament, even though that's not what the scriptures say. That's not what God said when he came down to the Tower of Babel. He didn't say, oh, I'm not letting them through my firmament. He confounded their language and said with one language that they'd do, or that nothing would be refrained from them, that they imagined to do. You guys, did they imagine to go to the moon? Yes. People imagined that, okay? So that's the part I'm interested in, the darkness. That's what I'm talking about. And it's not a fun thing to talk about. What I'm saying is that is where evil spirits are imprisoned. Darkness. You see the earth in this image? Whatever you want to call it. If you think it's fake, great. But see on the right side, this blue and white thing. Okay? That's not darkness. It's not. There's lights up in the firmament, in this darkness, this place of darkness. I'll show you which place I'm talking about. I'm doing this on purpose. Follow with me here. Okay. So, see the black part. Okay, what if I go like this? Oh, is it green now? I'm not talking about the greenness. I don't care about the greenness. It's the darkness that I'm talking about. This part. Oh, look at that part. Okay, look at I paused it. This part. See it? Not the part where the light's shining. See, there's light shining on something? Okay. But the dark part, this is not, they think it's a vacuum, but it's not a vacuum. It's an empty place. Void. It is a true void. But there's a car there. And a bubble. And a dummy. But there is a light source. Wherever this is. Okay. I don't care if... I'm past the idea of them faking this. I'm just well past that. This is something that no man on the earth is being deceitful about. Okay? This is darkness. It's in the Bible. In the very beginning of the Bible, it says that God created. How does it start out? God created the heavens and the earth. That's two places, right? Heaven, earth. So let's just say he created two places, two words. One was heaven, one was earth. Okay? And then it says, and the earth was without form and void. And darkness, look on your screen, this part. Darkness was upon the face of the deep. So the deep is darkness. It's an abyss. It's a bottomless pit. Okay, so why do you people tell me all the time that Earth's rotating? Then they get angry. Maintain the Change says, I love you, my brother, but that was just in a dark studio. So let's analyze that. I mean, thank you for that comment. And I love you too. But let's analyze that mindset that you're showing, and compare it with a different mindset. Not that either one is right or wrong. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter which one's right or wrong. It's just, it's actually more being aware of something, I think, is the important part here. Not to believe like this or that, because I don't think anybody's going to know some of these things, but to be aware of of a different way to understand this, I think has tons of value. And that's, I don't know how to really say that. It's something that becomes evident, probably when you consider it. It becomes a possibility when you understand what would differ in the way I think about things. So I'm trying to stress that it doesn't matter what you believe or what I believe in this case, because we might believe, however we believe what something is or how something's happening. But I'm going to go to the dark studio thing. If that was a dark studio, then there's one thing that must be, by saying that, by alluding to the idea that it's in a dark studio, that would, along with that comes someone, has a dark studio, that someone or a group or whatever. Who are these people that have the dark studio? Because at space, two things. Okay, there's two ways to look at it. Because at SpaceX, and if you want to do a little research, you know how people say that during the launch, it showed it in a studio for a moment? No, that showed it inside of the fairing. There's two halves, and it's, I suppose you could say it looked like a studio, but that's one thing, is that at SpaceX in, Hawthorne, California or whatever, they actually did do, or no, actually that was at Kennedy Space Center, I think, that they put the car in there. But what I'm saying is they actually went through the process of putting a car in a rocket and launching it up into the sky. Whether or not this video is real, just keep in mind that they did actually send a massive rocket into the sky with a car in it. And I mean, there's plenty of pictures of this, and there's plenty of people there. I don't think that anyone would say, no, they didn't have a car in there, because that's what they do there. I don't know. Anyway, that's just one side of it. But the other side is people aren't involved in this. This isn't a human conspiracy. That's what I'm trying to point out. So in order for it to be in a dark studio, that would mean there's people, and I'm not trying to pick on that comment or anything. I'm just saying that mindset, it goes against what Paul said to the Ephesians. And that's, a lot of people would disagree with what I'm saying, I'm sure. But Paul told the Ephesians that we don't struggle against flesh and blood. And he said, but against powers and principalities and the rulers of the darkness of this world, spiritual wickedness in high places. This darkness that's in Genesis 1 verse 2, God called it night. We still today call it night. Okay, so there's these lights up there that project their light onto things, like this. In this image, we could call it that it's doing it to the car. Or in this image, we could say it's doing it to the earth. But what I'm saying is those things that are getting hit by that light are not in darkness. They're actually lit up as just physically, like as however that works. Okay, so you can see the parts of the car where the light is shining on it. You can see the things that the light are hitting. Where the light is not hitting, like up in this corner, you don't see anything. Okay? It's darkness. And I'm just saying that we have been taught that it's a solar system where everything is orbiting something else. I think that that's what, as far as what they experience, that, like, it happened gradually as first men decided to fly. That's a crazy concept right there. Just over, 110 years, 120 years ago, it became a thing in this world for human beings to fly. Before that, we were stuck to the ground. You could climb a mountain. That's about it. There was no way to fly. Maybe there was, like, in ancient times. There sure seems to be a lot of evidence for some sort of flying happening in another age or something like that. But I don't know about that. But let's do this. Flying, it's almost like magic a little bit. But it's not magic at all. We've just learned the physics of air and how we can use a wing and the shape of it to create lift, right? Just like a bird's wing or like a glider gliding. Men figured that out, right? And keep in mind what God said, nothing will be restrained from them that they imagine to do. So then we got Google Translate now. We don't really have a language barrier in this world, do we? So we've kind of or whatever, we've kind of overcome that confounding of the language that God did to mankind at the Tower of Babel. We kind of have overcome that in the last, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, whatever. We're a one language world. Like, we communicate. Every part of the world communicates with every other part of the world, is what I'm saying. You can do it on apps on your phone if you want. I like that Thomas Morgan says, I don't say so, the scripture does. Yeah, you're just repeating what it says. I just think we have to be open. We have to be open to what Paul actually said. That we have our battle, the war that we wage in this life. It's not one of flesh and blood. It's not any person on the earth. It is, what did it say in the Greek? It says the cosmic powers of evil in the heavenly realm, in the sky, in the firmament. Where does Satan get cast out from in Revelation? Out of the firmament. He was up with the stars. So that's what that place of darkness, the firmament, begins with darkness. That's at the bottom of the the underworld or Sheol. I don't know specifically because I'm sure there's a lot of verses about all of these places, hell, and then there's all these different languages. And what I'm saying is the general concept of this place is that there's evil spirits chained under darkness until the day of judgment. Okay, there's wandering stars. There's 7 transgressing stars that disobeyed God's commandment for their ordained courses. Like, you go here, and it says in Enoch that they at the beginning of their rising, so that seems like the first time that they came out or whatever, which would have been on like the 4th day evening or something. I don't know. That's a good reminder. Thomas Morgan says Paul is a chosen vessel by the Lord. Yeah, and actually that's something we should read. That's something that would be worth reading. Is that Acts chapter 3? There's something interesting there. We should listen to what Paul says. That's a good reminder, Thomas, because let me go to it. Let me just read something. Because it seems to be like pretty extreme what it says here in Acts 3. I think it's in Acts 3. It's been a while since I've read this. Oh yeah, he repeats something that was it Moses said? I don't remember. Let's see. In Acts 3 verse 22 it says, "For Moses truly said unto the fathers, a prophet shall the Lord your God raise up to you of your brethren, like unto me, him shall ye hear in all things whatsoever he shall say unto you. And it shall come to pass that every soul which will not hear that prophet shall be destroyed from among the people." I think that might be Paul. Like, I really don't know, but that could be Paul that it's talking about. Because it's in Acts chapter 9, I think that, let me go there real quick and I'll just read that Paul was a chosen vessel of the Son of God, like to do a special thing or to, and I think it was to be a witness. Yeah, look at what it says here. When he's talking to Ananias, when the Lord's telling Ananias to go, get a hold of Paul. But he says, but the Lord said unto him, "Go thy way, for he is a chosen vessel unto me, to bear my name before the Gentiles and kings and the children of Israel." So, and then up above that it says, when Saul fell to the earth, and a voice saying unto him, "Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me?" And he said, "Who art thou, Lord?" And the Lord said, "I am Jesus, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks." Wow, that's crazy. But anyway, so Paul, I think is Paul knows a special thing, basically. Sorry, I forgot about the video screen here. So, let me pull up something again here. Let's look at this again. Okay, since I'm just going to do a quick elementary school lesson as a reminder. It's not in mockery. It's as a reminder how ridiculous some of us are when it comes to being stubborn to the point of accepting something that we know is not the truth. Okay, whether you're a child or an adult, you know what a lie is and you know what the truth is, right? There is a huge difference. There's as much difference between a lie and the truth as there is between something being in motion and something not being in motion. And I mean that. There's as much opposition between the two. Something that's in motion is displaying motion like your screen is, like those stars. Those are definitely in motion, okay? That image is taken over 250 minutes. That's how I get that image. It's 9 seconds long. And that's 250 minutes of looking at the sky. And I guarantee you the camera did not move. Okay? So, just the idea that Earth is rotating is literally confusing. Because there's zero evidence for it. People tell me that a Foucault pendulum is proof that the Earth is rotating and that it's a sphere rotating. Okay. Let me remind you, the pendulum is the part that's moving, right? A pendulum moves, not the Earth. You can't detect the Earth rotating with a pendulum. So you put the pendulum, you mount it on this solid thing so it can swing on this solid stand or whatever. This apparatus, you have to hold it at the top, and it's like really tall. That apparatus, you built that to be moving, to be rotating? No. No, ask the carpenter. He built it to be solid. The pendulum moves, not the ground or the building around it. Okay? It's a really hard thing to see that people, because it is a thing about being honest, you guys. If I ask you to look at the screen, and if I ask you a simple question, can you answer it honestly, or would you rather just not give an answer, or how does that work? If I say, do the stars on the screen appear to be in motion? Everyone should answer yes. If I said, are the stars on your screen stationary or appear to be stationary? Everyone should say no. Every child, every adult. But for some reason, see, and I can show like the hypocrisy here, because that's what it is. Okay, Professor Dave was on it doesn't really matter. I could probably find it if I wanted to, but he was arguing with a caller that called into this show that the stars were rotating. And the caller's like, no, they're not. And Professor Dave's like, yes, they are. The stars are rotating. That's reality. Okay? But then if you go over to MC Toon's channel or to any one of those mockery channels, they're going to tell you that Professor Dave's wrong. That the stars aren't rotating. They just appear that way because the Earth is rotating. But you got Professor Dave arguing that the stars are rotating. Don't you understand that they just pick and choose whatever they want? So the ground is not rotating. And this is also an honesty thing. Are you honest about it? If you look down at the ground right now, in the room you're in, you could even pretend your screen was up in the sky and that the screen was rotating. That's reality. See, the ground is not moving. And see on your screen, the stars, they are moving. Don't you guys get, and I know I'm preaching to the choir. I know a lot of you guys understand exactly why I'm saying this, but it's not science to put the phone or put your screen, however you have it, your TV or whatever, put that down on the ground And if you saw that, then you could say the ground was rotating. Get it? But that's not the ground. That's what the sky is doing. So I was trying to find a funny video, and I actually never found it. Which it wouldn't have mattered if I did, because I'd have to go get it anyway. Because my computer program, or my program restarted. Thank you guys all for coming too, by the way. Let's see. Let's get this off the screen. And let's see if we have the sun and the moon. Oh, let's just listen to this really quick while I try to grab another video.
And I saw the chambers of the sun and moon, whence they proceed and whither they come again, and their glorious return, and how one is superior to the other, and their stately orbit, and how they do not leave their orbit, and they add nothing to their orbit, and they take nothing from it, and they keep faith with each other, in accordance with the oath by which they are bound together. And first the sun goes forth and traverses his path according to the commandment of the Lord of spirits, and mighty is his name forever and ever. And after that I saw the hidden and the visible path of the moon, and she accomplishes the course of her path in that place by day and by night, the one holding a position opposite to the other before the Lord of spirits.
Okay, I guess that wasn't a finished version of that video. But that's okay. I was just trying to buy myself some time. You know what? Let's watch this. This is an old one. Hope I don't get kicked off YouTube for this. Let's watch it.
Wow, this gonna be first
upgrade the vaccines just makes common sense. One layer, you put another layer on it.
You're gonna have to take that off, please.
You have a physical covering with double masking.
You're very muffled.
Upgrade the vaccines. Double masking. You have a physical covering with one layer. You put another layer on it. This makes common sense.
Excuse me, sir. Why are you not wearing a mask?
I have numerous complex systems which could be adversely affected. Don't mention it.
This is your brain on
The mask.
Any questions?
And they keep touching their face.
This is what happens to your brain after
The mask.
this is what your body goes through.
With masks.
Wait, it's not over yet. This is what your family goes through. And your friends and money. Back to the future. And your life. Any questions?
And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name.
Workers will be sent home and you will not be allowed in.
Normal temperature. Normal temperature. Normal temperature. Normal temperature. High temperature.
All right, listen to this. A local Chinese restaurant is taking drastic measures to keep the staff and customers from the coronavirus. So no one is allowed to be seated without a temperature check. So the temperature check may be the new norm as this virus continues to spread.
I have passed out probably 6 times in the past 6 weeks.
You have to move back. You have to remember your spacing. Move back. It's too close. If you can touch the person in front of you, that means you're way too close. If you can touch the person in front of you, you can touch the person in front of you. You can touch the person in front of you. That means you're way too close.
That video was called Masked Hysteria. Pretty good. That's we've lived through a crazy time, you guys. I know it, we've just been living, but what I'm saying is, I think on a spiritual level, there's a lot of things happening in our world that maybe we can't read it all just right or whatever, but there's things happening. It's pretty crazy. Let's just play this little video. Oh, you know what? That's not the right one. Okay, so here's the question. I'll let our friend Greta ask the question. She's a little frustrated about this. Just watch.
How did I end up on the Effed Up World TV channel? I didn't sign up for this.
See?
Hello all, and welcome to another episode of Effed Up World TV. I'm your host, Simon Dan.
Thanks Thank you, come again.
If Earth is supposedly rotating, why don't you have any proof? It is like you have to imagine something to believe that it is rotating. Why do you think it is rotating? I think it is not rotating. I live on it, and I don't see any reason to believe that it is rotating. What could possibly make you think it is rotating? If it was rotating, you would have evidence of it rotating, but it is just sitting there, perfectly stationary with no signs at all of any rotating.
Make sure to subscribe to Effed Up World for more Flat Earth videos. Thank you very much for watching. And until the next one, I'm Simon Dan.
Thanks, you Simon Dan. That's an old video I made a long time ago. Here. This is an old video, but you can see what's happening.
The earth is spinning, and it gives us the seasons.
Fear before him all the earth. The world also shall be stable, that it be not moved, that it be not moved.
The earth is spinning, and it gives us the seasons.
Who laid the foundations of the earth, that it should not be removed forever, that it should not be removed forever.
Getting deep into the actual movement of the earth.
The Lord reigneth. He is clothed with majesty. The Lord is clothed with strength, wherewith he hath girded himself. The world also is established, that it cannot be moved. The world also is established, that it cannot be moved.
Movement of the earth as it related to the stars and to the sun. There's an odd thing that takes place on this earth. You know that one spin of the earth is a 24 hours, okay? That's one day.
In them hath he set a tabernacle for the sun, which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, and rejoiceth as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of it. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof.
If it spun on a perfect vertical axis, then nothing would change as far as the relationship of the stars to the earth, but it doesn't. It wobbles.
For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them.
And it takes it 25,000 and something years to make one wobble. It takes it one day to make one turn. The earth is spinning, and it gives us the seasons. Now this wobble is what we call the precession of the equinoxes. No man's lived long enough to observe this. No man's lived long enough to observe this. The stars change position in the heavens ever so slowly.
Say among the heathen that the Lord reigneth. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. He shall judge the people righteously. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved.
And what we have here is that the earth is turning back against the stars, but it's spinning in the other direction for the day. So it's spinning in two different directions. All right, and it's not spinning in two different directions. It's spinning in one direction, but as it spins, it wobbles.
The world...
Can I just point out, would you actually, I mean, let's be real here. Did you hear what he just said? He has no idea what he's talking about, and he should admit that even. He has no idea what he's talking about. Listen to this again.
Here is that the earth is turning back against the stars, but it's spinning in the other direction for the day. So it's spinning in two different directions. All right, and it's not spinning in two different directions. It's spinning in one direction, but as it spins, it wobbles.
Do you actually think that guy has a clear understanding in his mind of what's happening? Of course not. Why do we as human beings have to act like that? I think that's something that I probably has changed about me, too. I used to feel a lot more that I knew a lot more things than there's like a lot of things that I don't know. You know what I mean? But, yeah, I mean, why would he say that the Earth's rotating? That's my question. Why do you think the Earth's rotating, Pastor Lawson? I don't understand. That is the question. Nobody will ever answer it. All they ever say is, look at the sky, it's rotating. Like, I didn't ask you about the sky. I wasn't talking about the sky. at all, which is not even connected to the earth. Like, it's different.
The world also shall be established that it shall not be moved.
How many Bible verses do we have to, play to make the simple point that the earth's not moving? Like I was saying, darkness and light, they're like totally opposite of each other. Hot and cold, heat and cold, they're like totally opposite of each other. Same with motion and still are completely opposite of each other. Like, if you're doing the one, you're not doing the other. There's no... yeah. It's a simple thing. It's actually something that I don't have to teach anyone. It's something that everyone already knows. Everyone already knows. I like that. Roderick says, Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and he shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. Daniel and the 3 Hebrews that knew the stars would have moved mentioned if it... Okay, I didn't catch that right. Daniel and the 3 Hebrews that knew the stars would have mentioned it if it moved. Yeah. They and not only him, I mean Moses, just about every prophet that wrote in the scriptures mentions the earth being still. I mean, almost not all of them, but H. Jasper E. welcome says, "What a train wreck of a website is this? YouTube? Or do you mean channel? Maybe you mean channel. I don't know. Maybe it's a train wreck. Maybe it's not." Daniel 1 verse 4, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored and skillful in all wisdom and cunning in knowledge and understanding science. Oh yeah. The book of Daniel is a really interesting book. So check this out. All right, this one's going out for you, H. Jasper E. Do you live on a giant ball of lava?
Earth is a giant ball of lava with a thin crust on the top. Thin crust. And it's mostly just a big ball of lava. That's Earth.
Giant ball of lava. Giant ball of lava. Giant ball of lava. Giant ball of lava. With a thin crust.
That's Earth.
That is real science.
And if you talk about symbolism, we got the, 9-headed dragon rocket, run by Elon Musk.
Liftoff. Semper Fi, aim high. Go Falcon, go Dragon.
That's where you have to go to Effed Up World and watch his videos about all the symbolism.
If you look at these flat earth videos, they have hundreds of thousands of views, and just the thumbs up are just thousands and thousands of thumbs up. Look, I put up a video preaching against flat earth where I just mentioned it a few minutes in a sermon, 1,000 thumbs down.
Steady state operating levels at 100% thrust at 180. Vehicle dynamics is ready for good zone. 30 seconds of mission.
Verse 3, and there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. So Satan and his fallen beings inhabit up there in outer space. But remember, the Bible says he's the prince of the power of the air. Now, these satellites, I mean, if they're all the way up there at Could the devil have a play in that one? Well, they mention about one time where they launched a thing called Dragon, which is very interesting. That name, Dragon. And Satan is right up there at the stars, and then now people are launching a thing called Dragon, and Elon Musk is launching all these satellites up there.
Splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. Welcome to Space to Ground. I'm Isidro Reyna. SpaceX's Dragon splashed down on March 19th, marking the end to its 10th resupply mission. More than 5,400 pounds of cargo, science, and technology demonstration samples made it back to Earth on Dragon, with the majority bound for laboratories around the globe for analysis.
It's a beast.
So how does it feel to ride in a Dragon on top of the beast named Falcon 9?
Yeah, wow. I tell you, I don't know if there's words really to properly describe what that felt like. You talked about sitting on a dragon on top of the beast, and it definitely was. You knew you were going somewhere. And this one was a little bit longer, so we actually had to live in Dragon for quite a while.
Ride in a Dragon on top of the beast named Falcon 9.
And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon.
Sitting on a dragon on top of the beast. Yeah, wow. Sitting on a dragon on top of the beast.
It's a bottomless pit
in this abyss of darkness.
They really believe in the space frontier of the abyss, so to speak.
A good abyss. A good abyss.
Or was it some technology like a Vimana or something, where they're trying to break through the dome? There's a YouTube channel called Effed Up World, which I'm kind of getting into. Guy's very religious, and he talks about the Bible, where they talk about wars in the stars and battles in the sky. And if you really look at a couple of those angles, it sure looks like there's some sort of battle going on. The symbolism with the SpaceX and NASA and the ISS, they're doing rituals up there, that match all this prophecy. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying any of that's real. I just find it fascinating.
Yeah. What are some of the easiest ways that you can prove?
Okay, we're back. I'm back. H. Jasper says, I'll stick around for a while. Did you already pose the unanswered question? I will pose it right now. But let me get some video effects to help, make it a little more easier to understand. So let's see here. Let me go to this and let me put this on again. Okay. With that in mind, that's an image I took from my backyard pointed at the North Star. 250-minute time lapse, okay, with a camera. So that's what I got. The stars were turning in a circle like that, okay? I think we've all seen that by now. But my question to you, I'm not insinuating that you believe a certain thing or something. However you want to word the question. The question is, why do you think the Earth is rotating? And maybe I could word it like this: why do people think that the Earth is rotating? Now we know that the sky's doing that. I took that with my own camera, so keep that in mind. What's on your screen? That's what the sky is doing at night when it's dark. And depending on where you are and what direction you're looking, you're going to see a different direction. Like if you did a time lapse, you'll see a different direction and a different angle, depending on where you're looking and where you are in the world. If you go all the way to the other end of the world, you can see the same thing, but it's on the It's on the south end of the world. But you have to turn around to go south to look at that. Because right now, what I'm showing on the screen, we're looking north. We're facing north. So we would have to turn all the way around. The stars would keep setting on our left there. But when we turn around, it would be on our right. But they'd still be setting that same way. So they'd be going clockwise if we turned around. But that's what they do. That's what the sky does. So that in mind, the question is, why do people think the Earth is rotating? That is the question. And it is a good question, isn't it? And I actually have a video and I don't even want to play it. I was able to ask a question to a professor of, I don't remember where it was. He was on MC Toon's channel, and maybe I could play the video. He totally got what I was saying, what the question I had, because if we're gonna try to gain knowledge about the reality and the physical reality that we live in, there's a lot of ways to do it with science, right? We can learn a lot by making observations and doing experiments and testing things out. We know this. That's how an infant becomes a person and an adult, by learning all those things. We spend a lifetime learning these things, okay? And if we are doing it in the interest of science, like to learn, any person that lives on the earth should say that the sky is in motion, literally moving, because, if you don't see it moving, it's just like the clock. You don't see it moving until you, mark a spot on a tree or something and come back and stand in the same spot and you see that the stars are moving just a couple minutes later. Or, you can line them up with a house. I did a video about that too with the moon and Jupiter. I just lined them up on the corner of my house and made a video at 2 in the morning or something when I was having a fire. And then I did 2:05, I think. 5 minutes later, they were totally moved. And that's how we do. That's how we know that the sky is moving, because it literally is moving. That is the evidence of it. It's not this picture in particular. It's the sky is the evidence. That is the same. So why it's not science to just say, oh, well, that's not what's happening. The sky's not rotating. That only looks that way because the earth is rotating. That's not science. That's an idea that there's no evidence for the earth moving. Why would anybody say that? Even any of the things that are said, like gyroscope, like a ring laser gyroscope or whatever. Thanks, Bob. Do you guys understand that they had to put that on the ground that's not moving in order to get their 15 degree per hour change in whatever all the right words are, right? There's something moving 15 degrees per hour. It's on your screen. If you think about it. So what is orbit? What is low Earth orbit? It's always up in the sky. There's this idea of going around a globe, like it's going in a straight line around a globe and just changing just slightly. It would be about the same amount as your Foucault pendulum would change. It would be the same amount as the ISS would change its orbit, so that it ends up covering the globe. And all that has to do with rotation, Earth rotation. Let's start thinking about something in a different way. I'm not saying you have to. I don't care what you believe. It's just if a person consider something that they haven't before, and I'm here having my channel telling you that it really changed everything about how I see the world and see life, and how I see God and how I see everything. Everything has changed because I look at the sky differently and I look at the earth differently. And there is a legitimate way that you can see this, and it's much better. It's so true that once you see it, it's like, all the ridicule that comes with dumb flat earthers. Well, that doesn't even matter. That I just feel bad for people that think that way. I wish they would just listen a little to some of the things that I've experienced in the last recent years, and see how, not necessarily to see anything about me, but to see this way to see the sky and the earth. It's different, and it is science, because we are actually not just rejecting the observation that the sky is literally turning in a circle. Anywhere you are, you can point your camera in the right place and you will get circles, or partial circles, but the ground would be in the way. Do you know what I'm saying? The stars are going in a circle. And so just the idea that Earth is rotating, to me, is actually, it's called an inference. Let me see if I can find a video here. You know what the difference between an inference and an observation would be. An inference comes from prior knowledge that you have about something, so you can say something, well, this is probably what's happening, or you can be bold and say, this is actually what's happening. Like when we're looking at the sky like that, and some people could say, well, actually, it just appears that way because we're standing on a rotating sphere. That's why it appears to be moving. But it's not. It's us that's moving. That's like a cult. It has nothing to do with reality. It's totally the opposite of what we all experience. Everyone experiences the stars doing what they do, moving. Every child knows that the stars move throughout the night and throughout the year. That's how we get a year. Literally tells time, and we take it and make it as if it's the earth turning. And that's what ends up happening. It's the earth turning. That's why we have day and night, because the sun's so far away and we're just spinning here. Don't you see there how you can see it both ways? But if you look at it, what's true is the ground beneath you, has it ever given you the idea that it's going to suddenly not be solid and still? We would freak out if the ground, like an earthquake, or what I'm saying is we don't feel the ground move. And what do people want to say to that? If you're in a moving train, if that's where your mind goes, come back to the science room later when you're done with La La Land. I wasn't talking about a moving train. I was talking about the actual reality that we're in. Look around you. Think of the world in your mind. Think of everywhere you've ever been. How you've flown in planes, and you've ridden in trains, and you've ridden in subways, and you've ridden your bike around the block, and you've ridden motorcycles, and you've driven cars. You've driven monster trucks, and you've driven fighter jets. You know what I'm saying? We know what movement and motion is. That's why cars have wheels. The Earth doesn't have wheels, guys. It's not going anywhere. Just like the Bible says. It's not going anywhere. It's not moving. It's in one spot. And if you pay attention to that part, what is this circle in the sky? What are we seeing, right? What is it? I mean, that's a good question. What are stars? Well, they're lights in the sky, and they're really cool looking. Let's see here if I can... Let me show you some stars or something. Something other than what's on there. Sorry. Oh, here's a... Maybe this one's a little slower. Let's try this. Oops. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. That's kind of like weird looking. It's a circle. Do you want to know what those are? A lot of people can see that when we actually look outside, if you go walk outside and you look up at them stars, just stand there a few minutes and let your eyes adjust and just look up there and just ponder where God is. Like however you want to look at God, doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is the cause of all of this that we experience, this complexity, this craziness that we live in. Okay, first of all, we have our bodies, which are crazy. I mean, that's just insane, this living being. And we it's obvious that we inhabit this machine. That's one topic, but I want to stick to more like the reality, the earth, the plane, whatever. When you open your eyes, you're in this big place, you know? And it has it has rules. You don't want to jump off of something too tall or you break some bones, you know, or you'll die. You don't want to be moving fast and suddenly stop. We know these things. We know a lot of these things. But when you get up to the sky, what are we looking at? Is it like that up there? I don't think so. I think it's something else. Oh, what about satellites? Yep. Yeah. Why do you think they got to go sideways so fast? Look at the sky. It only makes sense. The stars don't fall down, do they? Not yet. Okay, sorry about the repeated video. I wish oh man. I had so many good videos lined up. But that's okay. I do have a few that I want to play, or at least one. I think I called it Motion. I don't know if that's a good one or not. Oh, it's not the right file. Oh wait, maybe no, that's not the right file. Okay, give me a moment here. I saw Red's Rhetoric was live yesterday on his channel, Red's Rhetoric, and I went into the chat and he just emailed me a link to go and talk to him. So I went, I just kind of sat there and listened to whatever they were saying, and I don't know. It was interesting. He was trying to get Gary Wybenga to come in, and he was having trouble with his phone. Couldn't get in, I guess, and Reds was not happy about it. And if you guys know Reds, or if you guys ever hear him, I think he's funny myself. I think he tries to be that way. He tries to be that the a-hole guy or whatever, but I think he's kind of funny. And he's like nice enough, whatever, I don't know. So let's check this out. on your screen is my image. It's a little bit brightened up or whatever. So, sorry guys. Do you guys want to see? I think it would be cool to see this solar eclipse that I filmed. Is this the... Yeah, let's look at this. Totality. Oh, this will be good. So I filmed this with my camera. See, that's the sun, and it's getting covered up. Boom, that was it. Now I take the filter off. Because I had a sun filter on. Now I took the filter off. That's what it looks like with no filter. And I was like, wow. So I would have to argue that this thing that we're seeing here doesn't happen all the time or whatever, but I watched it above my head, and it was crazy to look at. It was insane. It was dark in the middle of the day. What was it? It was like 11 o'clock or something, maybe? I can't even remember. No, it was later than that. It must have been like 1 or something. Anyway, you got to see towards the end of this video. I zoom in, and it's really cool. So this is actually still just playing. Let me zoom in a little and see that white around there? Isn't that weird? Okay, so I'm just saying that I don't think that's just a rock in the sky. And they're the same size. See how it's kind of like orange at the top there, right at the very top of the moon or sun or whatever you want to call it? I zoom in on that stuff, and it's wild. Here, I think it's right now, yeah. See how it's like orange or... I saw that, and I was like, wait a minute. And so I kept going in farther. Isn't that wild? And so as I'm looking at it, it's like, oh, only for so long, because look at from the left, you can see the sun is starting to shine through. So it's all getting so bright. See that right there? So then the thing kind of disappeared, like just because of the brightness of the sun. But look at that. You can see it move down. Isn't that some wild footage? Don't tell me that's a rock in the sky that's just floating there. Airplanes are in the sky, but they fall if they just sit there in one spot. They fall. A rock would fall. An apple falls off a tree. What's the moon doing? There's that. That was Totality in 2017. Jasper E says, I'm not here to make fun of you. If there's something to learn about flat Earth, I'm in. Your question why Earth is moving? I wonder why I never asked this myself. Yeah, I know. Me too. And here's, you know what? I can show you what made me think of that. Like, because whatever embarrassment or whatever pride or whatever, all that kind of stuff put aside, like if we think about it, the ground never moves. It just doesn't. And if we look at the sky, Jasmine R says, what the? Hopefully everything's working okay. Oops, let's see here. Let's look at this. Yeah, so that, if you just got here, Jasmine R, that's the eclipse. That was a solar eclipse that I recorded in 2017. I drove to Lincoln, Nebraska. Michael J. Spencer, haven't seen you for a while. Good to see you. Let's look at this Starbase video here. Oh, have you guys seen this before? Do you want to talk about this? Yeah, those are people. See that? Those are dudes. They're up on top of a booster. This was like last summer, but they're almost ready to test launch this thing. Okay, so I could tell you a lot of things about this vehicle, why it concerns me. Not because it's a big rocket, but see those, I'll zoom in. See these things? You guys see those? You know what they're made out of? Cast iron. They're really heavy. They're made out of iron. Iron. And then this is stainless steel. This part, you know. So, you see how high they are up in the air? Let's watch this video. It's a drone video. It's a real video from a drone. Do you guys see how big that rocket is? Biggest rocket ever launched, ever built. It's pretty insane, but it's all fake. Don't jump to that conclusion. It's not fake. So yeah, that's a drone video of what they're working on down in Texas. And that was like a year ago. They've built a lot since then. But there's reasons about... Did you guys know that Leviathan that swims in the deep, you know, has scales? Scales that are so tight to each other that the air can't get through. I'm not kidding. Me and Thomas Morgan were just talking about that. Let me look up at Job maybe 41 and read you a couple of these things that are so interesting. It sounds like re-entry, like a vehicle. Canst thou draw out Leviathan with an hook, or his tongue with a cord, which thou lettest down? Okay, let's see here. I know it's it's pretty long, but in here it's a ways in. It says, where is it here? Okay, his scales. This is verse 15, Job 41:15. His scales. Do you guys? Let me just zoom in on this for you. Okay, these are called. This is a heat shield. Okay, it's not done obviously, but these right here. That's a heat shield, and the heat shield keeps, when it re-enters, it's going so fast that the materials would like the metals would turn to like slag. It would be like liquid metal just from the air, from coming back in from the air, and because it builds up so much heat. But with these special tiles, they put them on there and they can withstand like the movement of all the, because the metals expand and move around a lot because of the temperature change, because it's cold fuel. And so this is the heat shield. It protects it when it's going through those I don't know, through the beginning of the atmosphere that starts slowing it down. But it's Job 41:15 is interesting because it says, his scales are his pride, shut up together as with a close seal. One is near, or is so near to another, that no air can come between them. They are joined one to another, they stick together, that they cannot be sundered. Just listen to this Leviathan. This is crazy. By his neesings a light doth shine, and his eyes are like the eyelids of the morning. Out of his mouth go burning lamps, and sparks of fire leap out. Out of his nostrils goeth smoke, as out of a seething pot or cauldron. His breath kindleth coals, and a flame goeth out of his mouth. Have you guys ever seen like a dragon capsule? Or even this thing? I mean, do you know what comes out of the bottom of this? Streams of living fire. Okay, let's see here. In his neck remaineth strength, and sorrow is turned into joy before him. His flakes of his flesh are joined together. They are firm in themselves. They cannot be moved. Wow. Look at this, you guys. His heart is as firm as a stone, yea, as hard as a piece of the nether millstone. Look at this, verse 25. When he raiseth up himself, the mighty are afraid. By reason of breakings, they purify themselves. I don't know what that means. The sword of him that layeth at him cannot hold. The spear, the dart, nor the habergeon. I don't know what that is. He esteemeth iron as straw, and brass as rotten wood. The arrow cannot make him flee. Sling stones are turned with him into stubble. Darts are counted as stubble. He laugheth at the shaking of a spear. Sharp stones are under him. He spreadeth sharp pointed things upon the mire. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. He maketh the sea like a pot of ointment. Whoa, I just thought of something. The deep. And then it says, he maketh a path to shine after him. Man. Let me bring you over to the desktop and show you guys this. This is crazy. Okay. Look at this. He maketh the deep to boil like a pot. Let me show you guys something. Enoch 67. Check this out. This is what Enoch was talking about, and I just realized it right now. I never realized that before. Right here, is this the right one? Yeah. It says about the angels in their punishment or whatever. It says that they changed the temperature of those waters. Let's see here. But those waters in those days... that's not the right part. Oh, here it is. For the judgment shall come upon them because they believe in the lust of their body and deny the Spirit of the Lord. And those same waters will undergo a change in those days. For when those angels are punished in these water springs shall change their temperature. And when the angels ascend... Look at, when the angels ascend, this water of the springs shall change and become cold. But it turns, look what it happens at the end though. It says, therefore they will not see and will not believe that those waters will change and become a fire which burns forever. Whoa. So there's a lake of fire that at some point gets lit on fire. Or turns into fire. And it's waters right now. So that's why it's a lake. But, yeah, so I just wanted to say, Daniel had a vision. He was talking about a metal vehicle. Not vehicle, I'm sorry. He was talking about a metal beast that had teeth of brass and... Or no, it had great iron teeth. That's what Daniel said. It had nails of brass. But the thing that Daniel was seeing, one of the beasts anyway, it was metal. Metal. Let's look at let me just show you this. Daniel. Is that Bible? Yeah, let's look at this. I just want to show you this. I mean... I think it's important. Daniel 7. So he's talking about 4 beasts. came up from the sea. And he's talking about the winds of heaven. The 4 winds of heaven strove upon the great sea. So he's talking about the waters above, the deep. And 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. So there's 1, 2, 3. Let's look at the 4th one, because this is interesting. I just thought of this the other day. The 4th one is verse 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. Let me just show you guys something. Strong exceedingly. Okay, just for reference, this is, I think it's 33 feet in diameter. That's huge. Very large. And I don't remember how tall it is, but it's very, very tall. 300 and something feet tall, probably. It's bigger than any rocket. But look at, see this? Let me do a search. Let me bring it back to the desktop and let's do a quick search. I just want to show you what's going on, what I'm thinking about, what Daniel saw. He said it had great iron teeth. And it broke in pieces and it stamped the residue with the feet of it. Like, I don't really know what that means, but what am I going to search for again? I forgot already. So, let's see. I'm diverting. We're going back to the video, or a video. Because about the stars, if I can find this right video, it's Enoch 71. He tells a story about being, like, his spirit or whatever, going up to the heavens with an angel. And he tells about what he saw up there. And it's crazy to think about, but he saw... Okay, let me just find the video. I'll let him tell you what he saw. And it's kind of crazy. This video is called Encircling That House. Alright, I think this is the right one. And it came to pass after this that my spirit was translated, and it ascended into the heavens. And I saw the holy sons of God. They were stepping on flames of fire. Their garments were white, and their raiment and their faces shone like snow. And I saw 2 streams of fire, and the light of that fire shone like hyacinth. And I fell on my face before the Lord of spirits. And the angel Michael, one of the archangels, seized me by my right hand, and lifted me up, and led me forth into all the secrets. And he showed me all the secrets of righteousness. And he showed me all the secrets of the ends of the heaven, and all the chambers of all the stars, and all the luminaries, whence they proceed before the face of the holy ones. And he translated my spirit into the heaven of heavens. And I saw there, as it were, a structure built of crystals, and between those crystals tongues of living fire. And my spirit saw the girdle which girt that house of fire. Sorry guys, I'm giving it a second here. I don't know why it's doing that. It should be, hopefully it works. Four sides were streams full of living fire, and they girt that house. And round about were seraphim, cherubim, and ophanim. And these are they who sleep not, and guard the throne of his glory. And I saw angels who could not be counted, 1,000 thousands, and 10,000 times 10,000, encircling that house. And Michael, and Raphael, and Gabriel, and Phanuel, and the holy angels who are above the heavens go in and out of that house. And they came forth from that house, and Michael, and Gabriel, and Raphael, and Phanuel, and many holy angels without number. And with them the head of days, his head white and pure as wool, and his raiment indescribable. And I fell on my face, and my whole body became relaxed, and my spirit was transfigured. And I cried with a loud voice, with the spirit of power, and blessed, and glorified, and extolled. Lift up your eyes on high, and behold who hath created these things, that bringeth out their host by number. He calleth them all by names, by the greatness of his might. For that he is strong in power, not one faileth. So if you ask me, it makes me wonder what the North Star or that area is. It makes me wonder. Let me see if I can find a video about the North Star. I've got some footage of the North Star that I took through my telescope. Let's see if I can find it. I know I have it somewhere. Let's see. I think it's right here. Is it? I don't see it. Let's see. Sorry, guys. We're gonna look in a different folder. Oh. It's gonna be in here, I think. Sorry if this is boring. H. Jasper says Daniel saw a vehicle with iron teeth. I misspoke. I meant a beast. But I think it was a vehicle myself. The only thing that there's only two things that are said to leave this earth. One of them is astronauts, and the other is spacecraft. Right? Same things come back and re-enter the earth, right? Not so sure those astronauts are people these days. That's where I'm at. I think there's something else. I think they're literally, literally cosmic powers of evil. What's cosmic? What does that word mean? I still can't find Polaris. Sorry, guys. It should be, oh, you know what? It would not be in there. I have so many videos on this computer. I really got to get rid of some. Because a lot of them I look at and I'm like, I'd never play that. Like, I want to play that. I won't play that. So I should probably get rid of those ones. But then I watch them and I'm like, oh, I should play that. Just because it's fun to watch old videos. I mean, I've made so many videos over the years. Oh, wagons. That would be a good one. But I want to stay on, I really want to find, maybe it's this folder. Here we go. Is it in here? No, it's not. This was the folder I was looking at, though. Let me play this, just since it's here. This is a good one. Okay, rather than let that play out, I found the Polaris video. But this is crazy too. This is my footage of Polaris, but if you look at the colors and then listen to what I play during this video, it's pretty crazy. Like, what I'm saying is a big question mark. That's what I'm saying. The things I was taught just seem so wrong. In, like, when I look at this stuff. Stars are not suns. They're all their own color. Every time I look at a certain star, it's doing a specific thing. It's that star. They're not all the same. They're different. But check this out.
And behold, a door was opened in heaven. And the first voice which I heard was, as it were, of a trumpet talking with me, which said,
Come up hither, and I will show thee things which must be hereafter.
And immediately I was in the Spirit, and behold, a throne was set in heaven, and one sat on the throne. And he that sat was, to look upon, like a jasper, and a sardine stone. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald, like a jasper, and a sardine stone. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald, like a jasper, and a sardine stone. And there was a rainbow round about the throne, in sight like unto an emerald.
So that's Polaris. That's just pretty much in one spot, but it moves very slightly. But when you're zoomed in like this, though, it moves fast. Because I'm really zoomed in. But Greta's back. Greta's back. You guys ready? She's getting stern about this thing here.
This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. How dare you pretend? How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. Live with the consequences. How dare you?
How did I end up on the Effed Up World TV channel? I didn't sign up for this.
Sorry, Greta. Oh, and then, do you guys remember the whole, well, flatten the curve thing? Check it out.
Now again, this is the great curve they talk about, plus or minus. That's what all you hear, that's what you hear every day on TV. You see this curve. We must flatten the curve. Flatten the curve, flatten the curve, flatten the curve. The concept is right. Flatten the curve. When they say this, I don't think of a curve. I think of a wave. And the wave is going to break. We're doing everything we can to flatten the curve. Everybody on the globe is flatten the curve.
That was the governor of New York or something? I mean, he said everybody on the globe flatten the curve. So, snap, snap. That's what I'm working on. But for real though, I understand the reaction part, but once that's like settled, I mean, you can see that people are not so surprised by it. By the way, let's check out this video in the background. Ooh, look at that. Nice. That's the one I left out in the rain. Don't ask. I almost felt worse because I had a camera attached to it. Oh, do I have the mic on? I'll just mute the music. That music was a little extra. So yeah. Should I play a video called Dark Waters? Because that's what's up above us. Let's watch that. If I can find it. So this was a JPL, I think it was. It was like a lecture. But it wasn't really a lecture. But this is just part of it. It caught my attention. Oh, this is pretty cool shot of the moon there. I don't remember that. That was a nice shot. Cool. That's what that one, yeah. That's a nice little telescope. It's small, too. Okay, let's see. I'll just show you. Oh, there's Jupiter. Showing you a camera. Showing the sun thing. There's my bigger one. That's a big telescope. That's an 8-inch mirror. Okay, so this JPL thing. Okay, here we go.
How we measure dark matter, since it's invisible. What I have here is a cartoon of how we measure dark matter. In cosmology, we measure distances with a unit called Z. So we're here at Z of 0. We're the observer. We're 0 distance from ourselves. And here's our telescope. And we look at distant galaxies out in the universe. These distant galaxies that are of Z about 1. And that might sound like a small distance, but how we do it in cosmology is a distance of 1 is actually about halfway to the edge of the visible universe. So this is a very distant galaxy. In the absence of anything between us and that galaxy.
And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters.
And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day.
The light from this galaxy would take a straight path to us. But we know from the work that Vera Rubin and others did that there's all this dark matter out there in the universe. And we're particularly sensitive with this technique to dark matter that's about halfway between us and the distant galaxy. Excuse me. One of the consequences of Einstein's theory of relativity, our theory of gravity, is that mass bends space. So what this means is the light, when it gets near this dark matter, won't take a straight path to us. That light is going to take a distorted and curved path. And I'm showing a very, very exaggerated version of that here, so it's easier to see. The consequence of this is that we will not see the galaxy as it actually is. We'll see a distorted version of the galaxy. So the dark matter between us, which we can't see, has distorted our image of this distant galaxy. And in doing so, it's telling us something about the dark matter. So I'm going to tell you with one more analogy. I'm going to use another analogy for how we measure dark matter. This is a penny in a pool. That's the analogy here. And full disclosure, Alina and I don't actually have a pool. So you're looking at a penny in our bathtub, but penny in the pool sounds better. So in this analogy, the penny is like the distant galaxy. And the water in our bathtub, or the water in a pool, is like the dark matter. You don't see the water here, but you know it's there because you see the effect on the image of the penny. So what's happening is the light is coming to us from the penny, and it's taking some distorted path that changes our perceived shape of the penny so that we know the water is there. So that we know the water is there. In much the same way as the light from a distant galaxy comes to us, takes a distorted path through the dark matter, and we see a distorted image of that galaxy. But we don't see the dark matter. We don't see the water. So that we know the water is there. I could tell the density of the water and how much water there was, and that's going to tell us a lot about the properties of dark matter. That's how we're learning about dark matter now, and that's how we're going to learn about dark matter in the future.
He made darkness his secret place. His pavilion round about him were dark waters and thick clouds of the skies. Okay, here's one that I just found. I can't hear you.
Oh, it's because I'm distanced from you. You'd probably have a hard time hearing from me right now. Should I have a mask on and that be muffled?
Mr. President,
You're going to have to take that off, please. You're very muffled, so if you would take it off, it would be a lot easier.
Okay.
I can't hear you!
Hello, there it is.
Yes.
I can't hear you. I said I can't hear you.
I can't hear you.
I can hear you.
I can't hear you. You're very muffled.
I can't hear you.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Okay, sometimes I find an old video and I just have to play it. So, yeah. So I just have to play it. This is out of nowhere, but yeah.
Come on out here. We're in hot pursuit. Get in your vehicle. Let's go. Come on. Good. Ooh.
through Sand Creek Road around the next bend here.
Yeah, sometimes you just gotta make a video. Hey, H. Jasper, he's having a good time. I'm glad. That's awesome. So, I'm just about to change the subject. Oh, no, I'm not really. But, I mean, I have videos here, sitting here called Space Pimp. I'm not going to play it. Trust me, I'm not going to play it. I could play it. I could play it. It's like pretty bad. But there's better. I want you guys to, okay, like I was talking about earlier in this super long live. How long is this live? It's almost 2 hours already. Nice. But the darkness and it is a thing, whether you know, it's in the Bible, it's part of creation, or it was there at creation, whatever you want to say. There was darkness upon the face of the deep. It's the second verse of the Bible. So I argue, or I would say, I put the idea out that if we listen to what God says, he called it night. And then God made these lights that he put in the firmament to shine down on the earth and stars and for times and seasons, days, years. And we still use it to this day. I mean, that's what everything time-wise relies on, the sky. And people would say, no, it's the sun that gives us our day or whatever. No, it's not. It's the sky. The sun is in the sky. It's in a place of darkness. And the sun is like the light there. And there's a lot of things involved, obviously. I'm not trying to like simplify it. I'm just saying, if we consider it as it really is, we look up there, there's something happening up there. You know, just the motion of it, it gives us our time. It always has. Since creation, since the you know, in the Bible, Genesis, or there's a lot of accounts. I don't remember. Second Ezra's, is it 6 or something, where he recounts the creation days, and maybe Jubilees 2. There's a lot of places you can read about the creation, and it's the same everywhere. They're like go into different details about it, but it's quite interesting to hear in the days all the things he created. It's insane. And if you think about it, it had to be created at some point. I mean, we experience this material world. We live here. Something made it. I mean, we manipulate things here like crazy and make crazy devices and cool things. And I mean, we live in a crazy world right now. I mean, we're sending rockets up to that darkness, though. Think about that. Like, and we're orbiting the Earth with satellites, and you actually look up and you see them. They're all over the place. Every time they launch Starlink, it's like another line of satellites that if you do time lapses, you can see them, well, with the right camera. But you can actually see them with your eyes at the right times too. Just like the space station, you can see that. What I'm saying is, they're wandering up there with the planets in this vast empty space because they choose to go there. Like, they're going sideways to go there. And the reason why I want to talk about this place is because it has an effect on people, And one person recently, and I'm looking for the video, that went up there, he just got like slingshotted on a small little rocket. And, well, it's kind of a big deal. William Shatner, he's like 92 or something, which is insane right there to go on a rocket launch. But when he got back down, he really had this profound thing happen to him that he tries to explain. Sorry guys, it's taking me a minute. I must sound like I just wander on in my own conversation with myself. Where is it? It was called Death or something. There it is, Black Death. And these are not my words. Oh, how do we get there? Oh, it's got a picture of, what's his name again? You guys will see.
Is there death? I don't know. Is that death? Is that the way death is? Whoop! And it's gone. But to see the blue color go whoop by, and now you're staring into black. Well, it's blue sky. And there's something you shoot through it all of a sudden, as though you whip off a sheet off you when you're asleep, and you're looking into blackness, into black ugliness. And you look down, there's the blue down there, and the black up there, and it's there. Is there death? I don't know. Is that death? Is that the way death is? Whoop! And it's gone. Like a beat, and suddenly you're through the blue. And you're into black. And you're into, it's mysterious and galaxies and things. But what you see is black. And what you see down there is light. And that's the difference. And not to have this, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the enormity and the quickness and the suddenness of life and death. And oh my God. It's something. It's so beautiful. Beautiful, yes, beautiful in its way, but...
No, I mean your words.
Oh, my words.
It's just amazing. What you were saying about shooting through it so fast.
So quickly, 50 miles.
And you're just in blackness.
You're in death.
Yeah.
The moment...
This is life.
This is life, and that's death. And it's in an instant, you go, wow, that's death. That's what I saw.
That's amazing.
Is the death around the earth that's startling. How this beautiful, shining oasis of life is there naked in the middle of pitch black death.
You're in death.
Yeah.
The moment...
This is life.
This is life, and that's death. And it's in an instant, you go, wow, that's death. That's what I saw.
That's amazing.
Death. In the middle of pitch black death, a vacuum of space. Is the death around the earth that's startling.
The weird part about it is space is so incredibly black, so incredibly dark. It's a bottomless pit of deep black, almost so deep it almost has a texture when you look at it.
Wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. Whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. The blackness of darkness forever. Well, I believe he's clearly talking about hell. Because in the Bible, there's a place where there's darkness forever. And it's called hell and the lake of fire.
Is there death? I don't know. Is that death? Is that the way death is? Whoop! And it's gone.
And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities.
How's that? That was a good video. It makes you like what I have seen here happening in my life is when I look up, there's a few things I see. When I see the stars all moving together, do you know what I'm saying? All together. And then the sun and moon, they do a certain thing. It's like they work together, seems like. And then the planets are just doing their own thing. Do you get it? The sky, and if you read the book of Enoch, Organic Life put Enoch 6:9, the elect shall possess light, joy, and peace, and they shall inherit the earth. That's interesting. Because I've always wondered what light is, because in Genesis, in the creation story, like the very first thing, he was like, "Let there be light." Remember? And there was light. So that was like the first thing he made. It seems like. But it wasn't until the fourth day that he made all the lights, like the sun and the moon and the stars. And notice it doesn't mention he made planets. Well, because I think the planets are just stars. Because in Enoch it said there was these 7 stars that disobeyed God at the beginning of their rising. They didn't come out at the right time or something. So basically, those 7, God was angry with them and he bound them there until judgment, until judgment. So we've looked at space as like all there is. Do you know what I'm saying? With the Earth as a globe, and then in every direction it's just this vast universe, right? And then we find that we have all these theories, and like for some reason a lie is so easily taught to children. When we look at the so-called universe, we're just a small speck. Like our solar system is just a teeny little thing in this universe, is what they say. Then where's God, right? If you read the Bible, God claims heaven is his many times in the Bible, many times. And his temple's there, his sanctuary's there. His secret place is there. He made darkness his secret place. So when I look up, I see the kingdom of heaven, and in the kingdom of heaven there's a lot. Like if you listen to that video I was playing of Polaris, it looked like everything was dark except for there was this gleaming light from that little point of light. You know what I'm saying? Any star you zoom in on, it's just like, what is that? You could imagine it being something like just having the sunshine on it, or it doesn't really matter what we imagine that it is, because it looks the same for everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? Like even if you look at the James Webb, Big deal. It's a bunch of lights. And we have our theories about them. It doesn't mean anything. Yeah, that Organic Life just put a good verse in Enoch 56:3. The saints shall exist in the light of the sun, and the elect in the light of everlasting life, the days of whose life shall never terminate, nor shall the days of the saints. That's a good book. Enoch is an awesome book. So let's look at, remember when the Challenger, it wasn't the Challenger. It was a different one. It was on re-entry, one of the shuttles on re-entry. It was Enterprise, was it? Well, George Bush is going to talk about it here.
The cause in which they died will continue. Mankind is led into the darkness beyond our world. Mankind is led into the darkness beyond our world by the inspiration of discovery and the longing to understand. Our journey into space will go on. In the skies today, we saw destruction and tragedy. Yet farther than we can see, there is comfort and hope. In the words of the prophet Isaiah, lift your eyes and look to the heavens. Who created all these? He who brings out the starry hosts one by one and calls them each by name. Because of his great power and mighty strength, not one of them is missing. The same Creator who names the stars also knows the names of the 7 souls we mourn today.
And they said, Go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do.
The crew of the shuttle Columbia did not return safely to Earth, yet we can pray that all are safely home. May God bless the grieving families, and may God continue to bless America. Mankind is led into the darkness beyond our world. Darkness, darkness, darkness.
The weird part about it is space is so incredibly black, so incredibly dark. It's a bottomless pit of deep black, almost so deep it almost has a texture when you look at it.
For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, darkness, darkness,
darkness, darkness,
darkness,
darkness. Mankind is led into the darkness beyond our world.
Black, so incredibly dark.
Okay, here's another one.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
When we could resume the dream of Apollo. The goal of SpaceX really was to make as much progress as possible to advance rocket technology to the point where hopefully we can establish a colony on Mars. Dream of Apollo.
And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon.
Apollo.
Apollyon.
Apollo. Apollyon. And we could resume the dream of Apollo.
The angel of the bottomless pit.
Apollo.
NASA is now embarking on a bold new program called Artemis. Artemis is the twin sister of Apollo,
which is the angel of the bottomless pit,
and the goddess of the moon in Greek mythology.
50 years ago, we went to the moon. We called it Apollo.
What many people don't know is that Apollo had a twin.
She was a woman named Artemis,
goddess of the moon.
It is the stated policy of this administration and the United States of America to return American astronauts to the moon within the next 5 years.
Our agency, NASA, is going to do everything in its power to meet that vision.
We're proud of what we do here, so come join NASA as we go forward to the moon and on to Mars.
Yeah, what's up with SLS? What a big fail. Hey, Sean Hawkins is even here. He says this is pretty pathetic. Right when I was going to play this video for you, Sean.
So, in space, you don't swallow your toothpaste. Doesn't make any sense.
The after-dinner mint.
Brush my teeth like you do here at home, except since there's no sink, you don't spit your toothpaste out, you swallow it.
Doesn't make any sense.
After brush our teeth, I cannot spit, so what I will do? Guess what? I just swallow it.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yes, that's right. You just swallow the toothpaste.
Doesn't make any sense.
Swallow it, and it's sort of like mouthwash, but it tastes a little gross.
Doesn't make any sense. Okay, so now what am I going to do? I've got a mouthful of toothpaste stuff. I got a dirty toothbrush. So what I do is I just swallow the toothpaste. Doesn't make any sense.
Because unfortunately there's no sink around here that I can just spit the toothpaste out into. So that's how it's done.
Doesn't make any sense.
It made no sense.
How's that? I have some other ones I've got planned on playing here. Sean, if you're still here, here's one for you. You need it again? I'll play it again. Of course I'm kidding. You know I love you, Sean, even though you hate me. That's all right. It's always fun. Let's see here. Sean, that video was just for you, by the way. It's actually called Punching Outro. So, I should change it to Sean Hawkins' video. I like teasing Sean because he doesn't like me. For some reason, I'm nice to you too, Sean. You know it. I'm always nice. I might say things that you don't like. Doesn't mean, well, apparently it means that I'm not very with it, right? Here's another video that I didn't play yet.
Just as the United States was the first nation to reach the moon in the 20th century, so too will we be the first nation to return astronauts to the moon in the 21st century.
Well, how do you plan to get there? In this trash can?
We're dreaming big.
Well, now I've seen everything.
And it'll get more and more obvious as you go along.
Come and play. Everything's A-okay.
Man, I don't have enough time to get another video. See, there's reasons why I think this is important, you guys. There's so many reasons. Like, where did these guys see these things then? Here's an example, a quick example, I guess.
Then I lifted up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, there stood before the river a ram which had 2 horns, and the 2 horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. I saw the ram pushing westward, and northward, and southward, so that no beasts might stand before him. Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand.
but he did according to his will, and became great. And as I was considering, behold, an he-goat came from the west on the face of the whole earth, and touched not the ground. And the goat had a notable horn between his eyes. And he came to the ram that had 2 horns, which I had seen standing before the river, and ran unto him in the fury of his power. And I saw him come close unto the ram. And he was moved with choler against him, and smote the ram, and brake his 2 horns. And there was no power in the ram to stand before him. But he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him. And there was none that could deliver the ram out of his hand. Therefore the he-goat waxed very great. And when he was strong, the great horn was broken, and for it came up 4 notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven. And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south, and toward the east, and toward the pleasant land. And it waxed great, even to the host of heaven. And it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away.
Isn't that insane? And look at this, though. Look at the beginning. I put this here because that word ram, it really doesn't mean an animal. Like, it could be an animal, but the way that look at what Strong's 352 exhaustive concordance says, mighty man. I don't know what that is, but lintel, that's like a header, or it's like a long, straight structural piece. But oak, post, ram, tree, it says from the same strength, hence anything strong, specifically a chief, politically, also a ram from his strength. A pilaster, as a strong support. An oak or other strong tree. Mighty man, lintel, oak, post, ram, tree. Okay, a pilaster. That's like a column. Like, keep in mind that this story that Daniel wrote down, he was told that this would happen at the end of the world, that he was seeing something that was happening at the end of the world. Or at the end of days, I guess it is how it would word it in Daniel 7. But, or is this, yeah, this is Daniel, I can't remember, is this 8? Daniel 8? Yeah, that's Daniel 8. But look at Daniel 7 has something interesting in it too. Like, because the horn comes out from the others, like, let me just play a little part of this again, probably about here.
But he cast him down to the ground, and stamped upon him, and for it came up 4 notable little horn, which waxed exceeding great toward the south, and toward the east, notable ones toward the 4 winds of heaven.
Yeah, right here.
And out of one of them came forth a little horn, which...
And out of one of them came forth a little horn. Like, look what happens. I mean, the thing... That's how a rocket launches. Like, it has stages or whatever. But look at in Daniel 7. Just keep in mind the horn. Like, is that what he's talking about? He was comparing it with, like, the only thing that he could think of, like maybe a goat. But let's see here. Here's another short video.
I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. In this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
Passed up there. And we're now about to fly sort of version 2 and version 3. And with each one, we're able to make the reusability of the heat shield better. So
I gotta pause it. I didn't remember this was in the video, but look at this. Think of how a rocket launches, like a Falcon 9 specifically. Just think of that rocket, because that's what a Dragon launches on. Okay? And that's the only rocket that lands. It literally makes fire come down from the sky. The Falcon 9 does. It's a very specific rocket that they launch. I think they're going to launch it 50 times this year. Something like that. It's very routine. It happens all the time. And they very routinely land them and reuse them. It's pretty insane. But they have help. Like, it depends on how you look at it. Look at what this story's telling us. If you apply it to what this story's telling us, there's something scary happening. There really is. So John wrote that he saw a beast coming up out of the earth. And he had 2 horns like a lamb. I don't know what that means, but... And he spake as a dragon. Think of a Falcon 9 dragon launch. It's a 2-stage rocket. 2 horns. I don't know. But check this out. Oops, what? It's not working? There we go.
It ablates less as it enters, and so we're able to get more flights. So that's Dragon version.
Uh-oh. What happened? Did YouTube shut me down or what? No? I'm good. My computer shut me down. Let's see. Yeah, it's not playing. Oh, wow. Organic life. I have something to it says, here's the comment. It says, brethren, if you can please do a video on the planets. I'm taking my time trying to get understanding on that with scripture. I can show you some scripture. I can just bring, hopefully if I can get it over to the desktop here, it'll catch up. Yeah, it's there. Nice. Let me show you something. Since that if that's something you want to understand, I can show you something that's I mean, you just have to read it. It's so simple. But it's like, really? Let's see. Let's go to chapter 17 or 18. My computer is a little slow. Unless my mouse is dying or something. It'll get there. Maybe. I lost track of my mouse. Oh, what's it? It's It's refreshing or something. In this chapter, in chapter 18, it talks about the 7 stars, but it explains what a wandering star is, and there were 7 of them. Wow, I don't know if this is going to work, I guess. Oh, there, maybe we're... Okay, here we go. Here we go. So I want to explain this, what I just learned about this, so I want to start in this chapter. This is something I think that once you see what Enoch shows, you'll be like, oh, that's different. But it's not shocking, really. It's just like, it makes you go, wow, I'm learning things that are just like I never would have thought. Like the earth is flat. Think about that. That's a crazy thing. That in this world, it's a crazy thing to believe that for some weird, strange reason. But it is. It's crazy. But Enoch goes to this place of darkness, and I think he sees all that and explains all of it. And it's something you could read on your own, because obviously you've got the Book of Enoch in your sights there, and so that's awesome. This is just something that and that's exactly what I learned what the planets are, and you're like, if you really think about what we know what they are, they're not places at all. Every light, excuse me, every light in the sky is an angelic being, and they're flying. Because the winds of heaven, we're going to learn that just in the next chapter. But let me just read. I'll just read this whole thing because it's just interesting. And they took and brought me to a place in which those who were there were like flaming fire, and when they wished, they appeared as men. And they brought me to the place of darkness, and to a mountain, the point of whose summit reached to heaven. And I saw the places of the luminaries, and the treasuries of the stars, and of the thunder, and in the uttermost depths, where were a fiery bow and arrows and their quiver, and a fiery sword, and all the lightnings. And they took me to the living waters, and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun. And I came to a river of fire, in which the fire flows like water, and discharges itself into the great sea towards the west. I saw the great rivers, and came to the great river and to the great darkness, and went to the place where no flesh walks. I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter, and the place whence all the waters of the deep flow. I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth, and the mouth of the deep. And then we got to go to the next chapter. He says, I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I think this part is really important, you guys, about the winds. He talks about the winds a lot, and when you kind of like zone in on the winds, you understand that it's a major part of the entire creation is the winds, the four winds, and they're held by four angels, and it's given to those angels at some point to bring destruction and to cause harm to the earth. That's just what's been written. So at some point that's going to happen. But here's about the winds. It says, I saw the treasuries of all the winds. I saw how he had furnished with them the whole creation and the firm foundations of the earth. I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds which bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. What does it mean to bear something, you guys? To support it or to lift it up, to hold it, right? To bear it. The four winds which bear the earth and the firmament of the heaven. They're the pillars, you guys. They're the foundations. I don't know. That's what Enoch says. But he says in verse 3, and I saw how the winds stretch out the vaults of heaven and have their station between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of the heaven. So the four winds of the earth, they hold up the heaven. They're the pillars of the heaven, the probably the atmosphere or whatever. Probably the Kármán line, or you know what I'm saying, where the air is. That's what I'm guessing. But it says, these are the pillars of the heaven. I saw the winds of heaven. So this is talking about a different part of the winds, because it says they're turning. Look at this. I saw the winds of heaven which turn and bring the circumference of the sun and the stars, and all the stars to their setting. Let me just remind you by just clicking here, I think. If any of this still works. That's not the right one. Maybe this one? There. Listen to this verse. This is verse 4. I saw the winds of heaven which turn and bring the circumference of the sun and all the stars to their setting. That's the reality we live in, you guys. The winds of heaven are turning. If we look at a reality that differently, you know, what is space? What is the solar system? It's a place of evil. But what is that place trying to mimic? Just look at, I'm just like orbits and satellites and all that stuff. It's trying to occupy that heaven that we've been talking about. They're trying to occupy it. And the prophets wrote that they were going to defile it. Defile his sanctuary, his temple, his throne. And that's what happens in the end. It says they tread it underfoot for 42 months. I often wonder myself if that's Starlink satellites. I do. I wonder that. Let's see here. There we go. So yeah, they're turning and they're bringing the stars, and they're doing that. Verse 5 says, I saw the winds on the earth carrying the clouds. I saw the paths of the angels. I saw at the end of the earth the firmament of the heaven above. And I proceeded and saw a place which burns day and night, where there are 7 mountains of magnificent stones, 3 towards the east and 3 towards the south, and as far as those towards the east, one was of colored stone, one was of pearl, and one of jacinth, and those toward the south of red stone. But the middle one reached to heaven like the throne of God, of alabaster, and the summit of the throne was of sapphire. And I saw a flaming fire, and beyond these mountains is a region, the end of the great earth, where the heavens were completed. And I saw a deep abyss. So where the heavens were completed, he saw a deep abyss, you guys. That's important, I think. We're talking about darkness. We're talking about exactly what they call the solar system. In Psalm it says that darkness was under his feet. It said he bowed the heavens and came down, and darkness was under his feet. But let's see here. Here's where we learn about what I think is the planets. There's a lot of people that disagree with me, don't think that they're the planets, but I think that that's because they're not paying attention to what the stars are doing in the sky. I mean, I don't think they are. They wouldn't. If you understand that the planets there's 7 of them that we all learn are these places, right? These other worlds. That's what we're told. But so it says, where the heavens were completed, and I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire, and among them I saw columns of fire fall, which were beyond measure, alike towards the height and towards the depth. And beyond that abyss I saw a place which had no firmament of the heaven above, and no firmly founded earth beneath it. There was no water upon it, and no birds, but it was a waste and horrible place. I saw there 7 stars, like great burning mountains, and to me, when I inquired regarding them, the angel said, this place is the end of heaven and earth. So, right there, this place is the end of heaven and earth. This has become a prison for the stars and the host of heaven. And the stars which roll over the fire, just think of the solar system. Everything's orbiting the sun. And the stars which roll over the fire are they which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord in the beginning of their rising, because they did not come forth at their appointed times. And he was wroth with them and bound them till the time when their guilt should be consummated, even for 10,000 years. 7 stars were there, and they were circling a fire. Interesting. And Uriel said to me, this is the next chapter, here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women. Remember Genesis 6, you put in organic life, you put in Genesis 6:4. I think that's right about when there was, that's talking about these angels, I think. Here shall stand the angels who have connected themselves with women, and their spirits, assuming many different forms, are defiling mankind, and shall lead them astray into sacrificing to demons as gods. Here shall they stand till the day of the great judgment, in which they shall be judged, till they are made an end of. And the women also of the angels who went astray shall become sirens. And I, Enoch, alone saw the vision, the end of all things, and no man shall see as I have seen. That's why he's writing it. That's why he had to write it, because we can't see it the way he sees it. I'm just kidding. But yeah, so I think actually in chapter 21, it's like he goes to the same place, I think, but preliminary and final place of punishment of the fallen angels, stars. It says right there, the fallen angels are stars. I mean, they're the planets. I could show you the word planeo, I think is what it is. Let's see here. I've been missing the chat. Oh, that's interesting. Awakening Soldier. That was starting in chapter 17 is where I was reading from, and 21 is he says the same thing basically. I proceeded to where things were chaotic, and I saw there's something horrible. I saw neither a heaven nor a firmly founded earth. I'm thinking of like if you're in low Earth orbit, like it looks like the earth is going beneath you, but you're actually going sideways, right? But it says, I saw neither a heaven above nor a firmly founded earth, but a place chaotic and horrible. And there I saw 7 stars of the heaven bound together in it, like great mountains and burning with fire. Then I said, for what sin are they bound, and on what account have they been cast in hither? Then said Uriel, one of the holy angels who was with me, and was chief over them, and said, Enoch, why dost thou ask, and why art thou eager for the truth? These are the number of the stars of heaven, which have transgressed the commandment of the Lord, and are bound here till 10,000 years, the time entailed by their sins, are consummated. Whoa. There's more. And from thence I went to another place, which was still more horrible than the former, and I saw a horrible thing. A great fire there, which burnt and blazed, and the place was cleft as far as the abyss, being full of great descending columns of fire. Neither its extent nor magnitude could I see, nor could I conjecture. Then I said, how fearful is the place, and how terrible to look upon. Then Uriel answered me, one of the holy angels who was with me, and said unto me, Enoch, why hast thou such fear and affright? And I answered, because of this fearful place, and because of the spectacle of the pain. And he said unto me, this place is the prison of the angels, and here they will be imprisoned forever. So that place is the same place that I think is in 2 Peter 2. Maybe I can find it here. I just show you what I think that is, or what I think that Enoch was visiting, or whatever you want to call it. It's the same place where the angels are imprisoned. I mean, it's darkness. It's outer darkness. Like I don't see it as being above us, unless there's something flying above us. Like it doesn't matter if it goes above us, but because it's going sideways, it's like falling. They're stuck in a rut. Like there's a whole heaven above all that darkness. And that darkness is not like a huge universe. It's more like a dream. If you had a dream, that you could have a dream that would be legit in space. You could have a dream about it. I mean, ask the astronauts. Even they're like, I don't even know if it was real. They say that. Like, I'll have to play some of those for you. It's like a dream to them. It doesn't even feel like it's real. It's like it's impossible, or it's hard to believe that this is even possible while they're floating there. That's weird. And the one guy on my TikTok, the first video I did on TikTok, he was like, when he got up into space and he looked out the window, and he said he looked away because he goes, no, we're not supposed to see this. He's like, this is a secret. This is supposed to be a secret. This is not for us to see. And then he decided to look anyway because he was in space or whatever. But at first, his first feeling was like overwhelmingly, I'm not looking out there. That not because he was scared to look out there, but that his eyes weren't. After he saw it, he's like, no, I'm not supposed to see that, which is kind of weird. But in 2 Peter, is it? Sorry, I get sidetracked. I think you might know what I'm talking about here. False teachers. Look at that. It's talking about false teachers too. I think that this is talking about not only like the angels in 2 Peter and in Jude. That's talking about the men also, it seems like. But in this right here, it's talking about false prophets among the people, false teachers among you. They'll bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them. So we have to be careful for them, huh? But look what it says. For if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness, to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah, the eighth person, a preacher of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an ensample unto those that should after live ungodly. And you can look up Sodom and Gomorrah on the internet, and if you want to see that place, if you want to see what it looks like when a place is turned into ashes, look it up on YouTube. Look up, I don't know what the channel is even called now, but if you do RSE, I don't even know. It's like Round Saturn's Eye, I think is what his channel used to be, but he didn't like that name after a while or something. But RSE, if you just search that on YouTube, you'll see the Sodom and Gomorrah stuff. It's wild. Like he drives through there at night too. It's wild. It's like you can see the buildings. They're just turned to ash. And there's like balls of, what is it, sulfur? That are embedded in all the ash. It's insane. And it's still there. Anyway, that's just an interesting, if you want to look up RSE, it's a YouTube channel. Interesting stuff. I looked at it recently and it's awesome. But let's see, does this yeah, look at these Are wells without water, clouds that are carried with a tempest, to whom the mist of darkness is reserved forever. This is talking about men. So it's the same thing, though. And if you think about all the time between, when was this, Peter till now, think of all the false prophets and think of all this stuff that's happening that shouldn't happen. Do you think that's all happening in the stars? No. Thank you, Awakening Soldier. Is it Rise now? Yeah, it's a good channel. I mean, he doesn't put out very many videos, I don't think. Maybe he does. I'm not sure. But yeah, so what I'm saying is that in the same way that the stars didn't obey God, I think men are the same way. We're just on the earth doing it. How's that? We're just doing all the same stuff. It's talking about men here. For when they speak great swelling words of vanity, they are lured through the lusts of the flesh, through much wantonness. Those that were clean escape from them who live in error, while they promise them liberty. This is talking about men here. It's not talking about the stars here. But I think they go hand in hand, because it's almost like there is some ideas that I get from something about the stars, but let's see here. I might have something to watch. We'll see, though. My video thing was being a little touchy. We'll try. I don't want to try that one again. Let's see what this one is. If it'll play. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. For the stars of heaven and the constellations thereof shall not give their light. The sun shall be darkened in his going forth, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. And she, being with child, cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth. And the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? My face will I turn also from them, and they shall pollute my secret place, for the robbers shall enter into it and defile it. As for the beauty of his ornament, he set it in majesty, but they made the images of their abominations and of their detestable things therein. Therefore have I set it far from them.
On behalf of Ripley, Little Earth, myself, and our crew, welcome to the Crew Dragon. Congratulations to all of the teams who made yesterday's launch and today's docking a success. These amazing feats show us not how easy our mission is, but how capable we are of doing hard things. Welcome to the new era in spaceflight.
Destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry, for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. And it waxed great even to the host of heaven, and it cast down some of the host and of the stars to the ground, and stamped upon them. Yea, he magnified himself even to the prince of the host, and by him the daily sacrifice was taken away. And the place of his sanctuary... It's not working. It's like late on my mouse. That's okay. A message from... I think this is a message from Pastor Steven Anderson, I think.
And you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm sick of it, and I'm not going to back down, and I'm sick of people not backing me up on this. And you know what? If you're not going to back us up, then get out of here. We don't...
Sorry, dude. The Earth's flat, whether you get mad about it or not. Let's see that.
Need your help.
Oh, really?
You know what? We have hundreds of people.
Hundreds
of people here.
Hundreds.
And you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm sick of it, and I'm not...
I don't know why I have that on my computer, but every time this program resets, it's Bob the Science Guy's in there for some reason. In this room with this guy. Let me show you. I bet you he's right here. Yeah, he's right here. See? Bob the Science Guy's in there. But he was up on the pulpit. I'll just show you guys what we had here. Bob the Science Guy was yelling at us about rockets, telling us that this is how they work here. But really, he didn't know what was going on. Oh, and THC was there too. He was chilling. And I'm just going through some... Oh, you guys, you know what? I was in the space station. Let's look at this here. Bob, you're old news, buddy. Look at this, you guys. This is some footage of me doing some experiments on this in the zero gravity orbiting laboratory, the space station. Just look at the concentration there. That is just killer. So the experiment went well. The water ball bounced off the paddle just fine. Everything was grand. All right. So here's Bob teaching. Let me hit play. Just see what happens.
Gonna back down, and I'm sick of people not backing me up on this. And you know what? If you're not gonna back us up, then get out of here. We don't need your help. You know what? We have hundreds of people here. And you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm sick of it, and I'm not gonna back down, and I'm sick of people not backing.
Time for me to go to bed. I gotta work tomorrow. So you guys have fun. And yeah, I really got nothing. My computer's audience seems used to his antics. And I'm sick of people not backing me up. Oh, now my mouse doesn't even work. That's no good. Oh, man. Everything's locking up. I hope I still got you guys. Everything locked up. I got no arrow even.
They got like a whammy.
Oh, wow. We're coming back.
Bar.
He's going to sing for us. Let me pause it. See if it'll pause. Okay, it paused. So sometimes it's just a little... It needs to catch up or something. But check this out. Oh, come on. He was mad at us because we weren't backing him up. Come on. Uh-oh. Now it's YouTube's telling me something. Oh. I hope there's no buffing for all y'all. H. Jasper says the audio is fine. Thank you. And Awaken in the Light is just finishing work. Oh, he's singing like, I don't know why I made this a long time ago. So we're going to rewind it. I don't know if I'll play the whole thing, but he sings a little bit. So I made this.
They got like a whammy bar. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. Fake words, fake words, fake words, fake words, fake words. Dong. Fake. Wow, 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 wow. Dong. Dong. Wow, 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 wow. Fake. Wow, 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 wow. Fake words, fake words, fake words, fake words, fake words. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow. The Bible says the earth's flat. Wow, 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 wow. I'm serious. The Bible says the earth's flat. When the earth's flat. When
I was laughing that whole time. I swear YouTube is going to take this video down. For something. They took a video down that I called it Pastors of 2020, and they took it down. I didn't even say anything in the video. I just had them saying it, along with some Bible verses. So it's still telling me YouTube's being all goofy, but that's fine. I'll just ignore it. That was Steven Anderson again. I actually have a game show that he was in. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but there is a game show, a quick segment where I was there at his church, I think. I actually wasn't, but on the video I was. Let's see if I can find it. All it was just one Bible verse, and then that's it. This is not to pick on Steven Anderson. It's just it came up. Oh, there's that one. There's that one. Pulpit surfing. That's what that's called. Oh, here it is. Special guest. Special Bible trivia guest. Pastor Steven Anderson. Everyone.
I'm the God of Captain Kirk.
I will take Psalm 104 verse 5. King James Version. Who laid the foundations of the earth that it should not be removed forever?
The sun's moving, the earth's moving, everything's moving. Now what we believe is that the earth is turning. Come up to me after the service and tell me that I'm wrong, and I'll tell you you're stupid.
Okay, there's more that I'm finding in this old folder, file, whatever. Folder. So he said he's going to say we're stupid. Sorry, Steven Anderson, but you bring this stuff on yourself, I guess. But it's just for fun anyway.
The flat earth supposed that can be disproved so easily that you'd have to be an idiot to believe in it. Yeah, right. And I'm standing by what I said on Wednesday night. You know, you have to be stupid to believe in it. And anybody who heard my sermon on Wednesday night and still believes in it today on Sunday is stupid. Yep. And you come up to me after the service and tell me that I'm wrong, and I'll tell you you're stupid.
By the way, that's me in the background. He didn't even see me? Nice. Okay. Let's see what else is in here. Oh, man, I could play some of these, but I don't even know if I can. This is old stuff here. Clips from my mom's basement. That's what it's called. It's that old. No, we're not watching that. Sorry, guys. I'm not putting myself through that. Let's look at these ones. Oh, man. I got another one. That poor Anderson guy, he really got on my nerves back in the day, I guess. There's the Space Hero. I don't want to do that one either. Oh, disastrous. Should we watch that? Check one more here. Yeah. Let's see what that one is. Oh no, it's got Don Pettit.
So which one of you is ready to go to Mars? Are you ready?
We are absolutely ready to go to Mars.
Who's ready to go to Mars up there? And I think you're ready. I know you're ready, right?
But we destroyed that technology.
The rocket equation.
His name is Ralph, man.
She was a woman.
Oh, yeah, that would be disastrous.
She'd like to go to Mars very quickly.
The problem is we don't have the technology to do that anymore. We used to.
Epic achievement.
And it's a painful process to build it back again.
The Earth is flat. The Earth is flat.
We just discussed that. She'd like to go to Mars very quickly.
I'd go to the moon in a nanosecond.
It would kill everyone on Earth.
I like that little special effect there. The Efterpearl logo bringing the ISS down to the ground. That's good stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of things I could play, but I'm getting kind of tired. So I'm going to play there's so many that I don't know, like I haven't like checked them to make sure. Like YouTube has really gotten, you know, stricter over the years. So if I feel like if I play an old video that I'll get like that YouTube will come down on me during the video or something. It happens to some people. But let's see, we might have some words of truth coming from an old voice, if I can find it. Yeah, I found it. Just something to think about. Do you guys remember Daniel Pratt? He's got a channel, I think his channel always disappears and then I lose the guy. I know he's on YouTube. I gotta find him again. I don't know what his channel's called now. But here's him a few years back talking about some truth and some lies. And check it out.
There is no logic to it. There's no way we can be with billions of people thinking they're clung to a ball spinning ridiculous speeds upside down, inside out, in every other direction. It is absurd to those of us with eyes to see and ears to hear. Just as what we believe is absurd to those clinging to that ball spinning, whirling, twirling, dizzy, upside down, and so confused they literally don't know which end is up. Literally, they think there is no up and down. This is exactly how we were told it would be. If the Bible is lies, why did it clearly point this out to us? Again, Matthew 10:34 through 36. Think not that I come to bring peace on earth, but a sword. Your own family will turn against you, will be your foe. people that are still denying Jesus, denying the Bible. If you think you fully got your mind wrapped around God and what he does and his wisdom, hello, you're trying to be God. I just need to do what he guides me to do. Even though I'm blunt, it's what I need to be saying. I'm not perfect in my delivery, but I'm also not the one coming up with the message to deliver. As I read in the Bible again, it says, don't think about what you're going to say. God will say it through you. God will use me as his tool to reveal the truth. That those that can't comprehend the flat earth because they don't have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, yet many of them will, absolutely, when his time comes, when he reveals it to them, because it's God's plan. It's his playbook. Then flat earth came along. Okay, now we're starting to make some sense. And especially as I started to talk about it and saw the supernatural spell and delusion that people are under. The overwhelming majority do not have the eyes to see and ears to hear. All they can hear is Lucifer's lies. For now. Those that do have the eyes and ears will continue to warn, will continue to be used as God's tools until enough awaken and his will be done. It has to go this way. Your friends, your family, the majority of people, pretty much everybody you know will turn against you. And the more they do, the more you must strengthen your resolve rather than let them weaken it. It's not a insult. It's not anything other than that's what God's telling you through me and others. With my heart and soul, everything I tell you, I believe is absolute truth. And I believe the message comes from the Almighty Yahweh. He is speaking to you through us tools, us nobodies, us servants of him. We are simply the voice boxes he is speaking through. This doesn't mean we're special. It doesn't mean we're anything but just tools. Like a screwdriver, like a hammer. He just loves us just like he loves you. Otherwise, he wouldn't demand we share the message. He wouldn't compel us to come out here and be belittled and berated and insulted and threatened and ridiculed and everything else that comes along with it. Persecuted. If you are being persecuted, you are on the right path. God bless you for it. Pray for strength. Pray for the full armor of God, because we're going to need it. God bless you all.
Did you guys notice that the video on the background there has the original, like the live version of the rocket launch, the February 6th, 2018, I think, Falcon Heavy. They had, for some reason, they had both cameras the same instead of a right and a left or whatever. The two boosters, so they had both cameras. The feeds were both here, and then the next day or whatever, it was changed. They switched it to the other one, which was kind of weird, and it was still a live video, which is strange. I've never heard of a video doing that before. Like Elon Musk owns YouTube or something. It's weird. Yeah, H. Jasper E. That's Daniel Pratt. He's been on YouTube for a long time. And yeah, that's it. Is that in Revelation 4? Is that in? I think that's in Revelation 4 maybe, about the jasper and the sardine stone. That's cool. Yeah, I love that book of Revelation. That book's crazy. It's full of crazy stuff in that book. The dragon. Here's a video. What's this one? See, I'm worried to play some of these because I know that some of these have even been removed from YouTube, but they're still in my program and they're just sitting there, and I'm like, if I click the button, it could be bad. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. That's about all I got. Guys, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. Revelation 4:3, huh? Yeah, that it's the weird thing about it is when I think about it, John didn't have a telescope. So was it just coincidence that he knew those like kind of specific colors? And then now we have telescopes. So I point up there and all of a sudden I see those colors, and it's always the same colors. It's like always the same. It's not the atmosphere that's doing the twinkling and that movement and stuff. Because if it was, you'd see the same thing on every star, but you don't. All the stars look entirely different from each other. If you look at one, and then you could look at 100 different ones, and then you could point back to that one and be like, oh, I already saw that one. That's how different they are from each other. Like if you actually zoom in on them and actually look really close at the colors and stuff. So, I mean, they don't look at all the same from each other. So why would people say they're suns? Like, it doesn't even make sense. They're actually like, some people I hear them describe it's like energy in water. I mean, when you look at them, they look wild. They don't look they look alive, for one. And also they look like light that's like different colors. I don't know why it's different colors, but it is. I mean, they're their own colors, and I don't know, there's something amazing about them. But actually, it's something that I think we'll always wonder about. We'll always be like, why? I wonder what is going on up there. But I think some of it we're getting to understand in a different way than we had before. But that's the end of this live stream, because it's actually been 3 hours and 15 minutes. That's super long. But I did have some fun watching some old videos and stuff. But thank you guys for hanging out. And check me out on TikTok too. Same channel name, Effed Up World. Some of the videos are... there's making videos on my phone or on TikTok or whatever. There's convenient ways of making like a quick video or whatever, and it's kind of fun. So there are some videos on there that I really have no way of putting them on my YouTube, unless they're going to be like a little teeny version, and I probably just whatever. But yeah, check out my TikTok just for fun. I never thought I would say that. Check out my TikTok. I never thought I would say that, but I just said it. So yeah. Thanks guys, and have a good night, and we'll talk to you next time.